Oh my God, we're live on
All
both.
right, we got it.
So we are officially live on both Instagram and YouTube. YouTube so that we can save our live and you guys can watch it whenever. People that aren't available in the next 24 hours can still catch our live. Gia Aid, what's up?
What's going on, guys? We are doing this thing right now.
This is so exciting. So you can watch us on either one. If you guys are like listing away using your phone or something, you can use your laptop or whatever to watch us on Instagram or on YouTube. Anyways, it's Tuesday and it's Rnzy Live Market. We're Ryan and Lindsay. Rnzy. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. we go live to answer questions, talk about our week, stuff like that. It's officially fall as well, which is so exciting.
It's cold as shit. It's
whip
coming.
Out our beanies, our Rnzy hats.
It's crispy, guys. It is crispy out there.
Do you still eat bugs? Oh my God, yes, I do.
Here's Co-op. What up? Thank you for joining us on YouTube.
YouTube is better. Yeah, we're trying it out. We'll see.
We're testing both. We're gonna keep always going live on Instagram. The reason we decided to stream live on YouTube tonight is so that we can keep it there for people that want to view this a little bit later on, or you want to come back to this specific stream. As you guys know, on Instagram, it goes away after 24 hours. So we wanted there to be a place where you could go back and watch it over again. So we're kind of testing. We hope that this is going to work really well. What up, Retail Recon? Jim Witten. Jim Witten's asking some phenomenal questions today. We really appreciate that.
Closet Lounge likes IG better. Yeah, we want to satisfy both, so maybe we'll just keep doing both. I love all the content. Resellers Paradise, thank you.
Huge shout outs to you guys. We really appreciate it. We're continuing to work through the kinks. We're trying to put out as much content as we possibly can. As you guys know, what we do during the Rnzy Live Market is a live Q&A. We've got, Lindsay wrote down all the questions that you guys have been asking us on Instagram over the last 24 hours. We're going to get to some of those. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll get to all of them that we possibly can. With the theme of putting out content, tonight we wanted to feature, for our free shoe giveaway, we wanted to feature e-commerce momentum. We've pinned the comment over here on Instagram. Those of you that are over here on YouTube, you'll have to check into our Instagram feed. We've pinned the comment, and in order to enter into tonight's free shoe giveaway, you have to go and follow e-commerce momentum, and then on the post that he put up of us, we were lucky enough to be on his podcast, and we're talking a lot about mental real estate, some themes that we've been talking about over the last 24, 48 hours, especially on Instagram, and we're going to be talking a lot more about on YouTube. And on the post, you'll see our faces. I think it's the second post when you go to his Instagram page. Make sure you're following him. Make sure you like that post. You'll see our faces, and then throw some positivity. A few of you have already done it. I saw some notifications come up.
Whoa, we just got 5 new followers.
And then what happens is, it looks like it's 3 posts back. You'll see Rnzy, Ryan, and Lindsay. And then Lindsay will write your name down. We'll put it in the silver shoe, and then before the end of the feed tonight, we'll pick a winner. That winner will be able to go to our website with a code that we give you and pick out a free pair of shoes. You just have to pay shipping within the next 48 hours. The Hustling Dad said Rnzy beanie and every purchase.
Oh my God.
Maybe if we can find,
for sure.
if we can find a supplier that can hook us up with more for less cost, maybe we will.
But yeah, so and following him is awesome. He puts up great stuff. He does a lot of really cool podcasts with resellers doing all sorts of different things. But go ahead, you can click on his link to his website and find our podcast number 339 right on there. Have a listen to it. It was a blast.
Yeah, we had a blast
really
with
fun.
it. It was a lot of fun. What up, Minnie and Nance? Happy Tuesday to you as well. Johnny Gendron Jr. Queen. See, I got it. You had the right advice. Maybe if I'll put. I don't know if you guys.
In the way, or
I don't know
is
if
this
you guys
like...
noticed, but we're both grateful. AF. That's fun. We're so grateful. If you guys have questions, let us know. We're gonna jump into some of these questions. We want to talk reseller strategy. We want to build community as much as we possibly can. share what's working for us, leave everything on the table. Those of you over on YouTube, thank you for hitting that like button. We really appreciate it. And those of you over on Instagram, thank you for the hearts. This week, the last 7 days, we're looking at our chart. We had 41 sales. Poshmark is still the #1 marketplace for us in the shoe game. We had 31 sales. 31 of the 41 sales were on Poshmark. 7 were on Mercari. 2 came from our website, and we had 1 on OfferUp. We're going to continue. Those of you that are on Instagram know we've been sharing in our stories what is selling, where it's selling, how much it's selling for. We want to provide you with as much info as we can so that you can leapfrog some of the mistakes that we have made and get to consistent wins, especially when it comes down to sourcing. It always starts with sourcing. And so the more we show that, by no means is it a bragging about sales. We're trying to be very transparent. Literally, hey, this pair of shoes sold for $79 on Poshmark after fees. This is what we got, and this is what our profit margin was. Happy news from the week. Last 30 days, $1,500 in profit.
Last time we went to Freeport, I can't read the name, was there too, but they couldn't say hi.
Say what up to us, always.
If any of you ever see us running around, stop us and say hi. We've had that happen to us once, I think.
We always want to say hi. We always want to say hi. We'll actually we'll talk strategy. We'll say, hey, these shoes are great. There's enough shoes for all of us to walk out with some. But if you see us in the wild, absolutely come up and say hi.
Funny.
The benefit of putting out as much content as we do, and we want to put out a ton more, is we get to meet people through the comments, but we don't see your faces. So if there was some way we could recognize you, we would come say hi to you. But the door is open. Please say hello.
You're always saying such nice stuff on these comments. They're like, best team out there, love their content.
The positivity goes a long way.
Favorite couple.
Brooke Clothier, you're going in. Fuegastine, you're going in the drawing. N Couponer 23, you're in. Resellers Paradise with a Z, you're in. Lionel Ferrero, you're in. The Hustling Dad, you are in. Those of you that are on YouTube, we haven't figured out the transition, but everyone on Instagram, you are getting entered. If you on YouTube want to jump on Instagram, you can do that for today's free drawing. De La Cruz Edgar US, you're in. JC Apollo, you are in. TCA Fines, what up? Retail Recon, of course you're in. Mexi with 4 eyes, you are in. And how do you say it?
Gia Aid.
Gia Aid, you are in. All of you guys are in so far. The reason we do these free drawings is we want to respect your time and attention, and to ask you for your time and attention. Even though we're answering questions, we want to give something in return, in addition to answering all the questions that we possibly can. So that's why we give away a free pair of shoes. Now, be strategic with it. These are a lot of resellers. We're connecting with frequent buyers. We're also connecting with a lot of resellers. You can pick a pair of shoes that you want to resell yourself, or you can pick a pair of shoes that you want to rock yourself.
Kelly's watching.
What?
That's so funny.
Double trouble, Kelly.
People.
If you're over here, Kelly, on
Kelly.
YouTube,
hit
Kelly. That like button. We really
Kelly.
appreciate it. Retail Recon, I got to get back to work. Cleaning, photographing. We were just cleaning some shoes earlier. We totally respect that. And send you our best Retail Recon. Thanks for checking in.
Get dirty.
Rochelle said that's so nice. Thank you. We respect your time.
Mad
we appreciate
Rod,
it.
our winner last week for
Boom.
free shoes.
And thank you for posting, Mad Rod, when you got your shoes. You've been saying some really nice things in your Insta stories, and we really appreciate that. What do you like better, Nike outlet or clearance stores? That's a great question, Thrifter from another planet. I think we have only been to Nike factory stores. Yeah. I think the clearance stores, the only thing closest to us, we have 17 Nike factory stores. There is some flagship stores, but we skip over those because there's usually not really great deals. But the only stores we've been to are Nike factory stores, so those are the ones we like the best. We're planning a trip through Canada down into Michigan. We usually go down the East Coast, but we're going up over for a couple events, so we're gonna hit some clearance stores, I believe. We haven't finalized the trip yet, so we're gonna see the difference. But
what do you guys like better? For people that have been to clearance stores, since we have not experienced them, what do they like?
Yeah, what's the difference? I know our boy, Pablo, right there. You need to come down, and next year we'll go to some clearance stores. Well, I was actually I didn't notice you were in the feed, Pablo, but I was just gonna reference you because you're down, in the Florida region. Never eat shrimp down in the southeast, and I know you go to clearance and factory store. So those of you on this feed, Pablo would be a good person to ask which one is better.
It's one-offs.
Oh,
I think I remember. It's a lot of like Nike IDs and stuff, right?
Cool.
I feel like that's what I remember.
Keep the questions coming. Both Ecom Kid loves both. Super cool following your adventure as well. What is a work day like for you? That is a great question. We usually get up. She gets up a little bit before me. Takes the dog for an early morning walk. We usually get up between 6:30 and 7. We get some caffeine in our system, and then we get to shipping. We always want to drop off everything that has shipped or everything that has sold from when the post office closes the day before till when we wake up. We get that boxed up. We handwrite all the notes, and we get that out first thing in the morning. When the post office opens, bam, that's when we drop off all our stuff. And then anything that sells throughout the day, we drop off before 5:15 p.m. when the post office closes. We share at least 3 times a day our Poshmark closet. We take the dog for lots of walks. I play some street hockey while we're watching the pup. Walking the pup.
Yeah, it depends. It definitely, and then, Thursdays through Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, we're really doing a majority of our sourcing. But, today we went sourcing as well. So, but that's the joy of this whole adventure is we wake up every single day and we do whatever we want. So every day is different. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so we've been taking it a little easier in the mornings this week where, we'll ship and then maybe we'll drink a cup of coffee and watch an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
But then we'll go super hard Friday, Saturday, Sunday and source as many shoes as possible. So it really depends on the day, but that's what we love about it.
True story. Someone asked, how quickly are you looking to move inventory when it's first listed? Couple months, don't mind waiting. The answer is we move inventory as quickly as possible, and the reason that we can move inventory quicker is we put a lot of effort in our sourcing. The better you source with respect to the market value on the marketplaces that you're selling, the quicker you're going to sell through. Now, we didn't realize comparatively that our sell-through rate was a lot higher than the norm. We sell through 60% plus of our inventory every single month. Now, that's both a good thing and a ceiling issue, meaning if we're selling through that inventory so quickly, we have to be bringing on a lot more inventory than we currently are. So our sell-through rate is 60% and above. We sell most of our inventory within the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then everything else sells, obviously in the next month.
Yeah, you guys, because we've been putting hairpin or whatever sourcing trip we got the inventory on, that's what we've been putting in when it sells. And we've sold through 53 out of the 121 pairs that we bought a week and a half ago, a week and 3 days ago. So stuff moves super quick. We're almost halfway through that pile, and it's only been a little over a week, so we don't sit on stuff for very long.
Oakbrook Clothiers asked, do you think your prices are too low since they sell so quick? Phenomenal question, and the answer is no. We actually sell higher than a lot of the similar pairs that are selling, and we're actually going to do a lot of videos about this. We sell within the market value, but we create a lot of value and we build a lot of value because we have thorough descriptions. We have really, what we think are really good photos, and we're communicating very quickly with our buyers. We're building followings, we're being very communicative, we're always being positive, and so we actually have on all the marketplaces people waiting for us to post more inventory. we never milk that. We never, if the market value of a pair of shoes is $80, we're not going to sell it for 160 just because people are waiting for us to post. We want people to feel really, really good. And we also want people to potentially be able to resell the shoes themselves, maybe after they've worn them or if they're another reseller, while also hitting our margins. We obviously want to make sure we're making enough money in order to pay the bills and grow and pour money into paying off debt and pour money into building our buying budget. But we put a tremendous amount of time into pricing appropriately on the marketplace, but also giving us enough room to negotiate, but not pricing too low. And there's a bunch of questions coming in. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this. If we were pricing too low, let's say we just had Nike MVP cards. If the price point per pair for us dropped because we used all these Nike MVP cards and we sold everything that could sell for $79 at $49, we may hit our profit margin, but then we won't be able to source those shoes at that price again. So we're really hurting ourselves if we price too low. And that's something you got to really think about no matter what platform you're on. If you get a good deal on a pair of shoes, it's great, and you might want to price super low and under everyone else because you want to sell it, but you're actually hurting yourself in the long run unless you can source consistently that inventory.
Yeah, and someone had asked if it took us a while to get to that point where our stuff wasn't sitting for a while, and no, right off the bat, we had that mindset where we wanted to sell shoes at a price that we were happy. We were getting as much money as we needed to feel good about the sale. No extra, no less. And the buyer was going to get a product that they were going to feel really, really good about the price, and they were going to come back the next time they wanted a pair of shoes. And we did that with our first 800 pairs locally. We sold, right down the street at the local Whole Foods. We would deliver shoes there all the time. And so everyone was reaching out to us because they knew they were going to get a fair price. And now we're seeing that online. So we have diehard followers on Poshmark that know they can come to us when they need a new pair of shoes because they're not going to pay more than they should.
True. New Demos asked, where are we finding new Nikes for $25?
Everywhere.
They're out there. We get them in the outlets, period.
Outlets, Marshalls, Burlingtons. I mean, we go to 30, 40 different spots all around the East Coast. That's the key, is we don't just go to our local Burlington or our local
Nike outlet.
Nike, yeah.
Actually, now that you mention that, we have a Nike outlet that's literally a mile and a half down the road, and we very rarely source there. It's usually the end of our trip. We usually just go in to say hi to everyone because we used to go in a lot. But we're expanding 30, 40, 50 locations. It's a lot more time and effort, but because we go to so many locations, we can find the deals, down in New Jersey, over in New York, up in New Hampshire, the 2 places in Maine. We put in the effort to find the deals. They're out there. We don't get any special discounts that you guys don't get. We don't have any secret backdoor gift. We're walking in just like every other buyer, every other reseller. We just go to more places than the average, so we're able to find the better deals.
And we stick to our budget and we stick to our game plan. So if our goal is to buy $25 pairs, we're gonna go and buy $25 pairs, and sometimes that means we drove to New Hampshire and came home with 1 pair of shoes, and it was not successful in that regard, but we learned a lot.
Yeah, one thing that we do, there's a lot of sourcing questions coming in, like your drive time and all that. We factor that into basically how we pay ourselves, and it's all part of the game plan. We always respect our budget. I lost my train of thought. Oh, when we are sourcing, whether in the beginning it was one location or we're like, oh, let's check out, there's another location down in Kittery, let's test it out. We make notes of what is good and what's not, both geographically, the type of stores, the type of week. Guys, we put a lot of effort into what we talk about all the time. What is working and what is not working. We're not romantic. If there's a location that's super busy, it's hard to get in, there's never really any good deals, we cross that off our list. Yeah. And if there's one location, Dorchester, Mass. If there's one location, Tinton Falls, New Jersey. Jackson, New Jersey.
Jackson, New Jersey.
North Conway, New Hampshire. You know, just to name a few off the top of my head, we know when we go there, there's going to be a large selection of good price shoes. We incorporate that in. Now, the key is we don't just travel all the way down to Jackson, New Jersey to go to that one location. We make every single mile count along the way. Maybe there's a Marshall's, maybe there's a Burlington, maybe there's a local thrift shop, maybe there's a couple Nikes on the way. We find discounted rooms because we need to get our rest. We're very strategic with everything that we do. What up, Prince? Thanks for joining. It was cool seeing you jump out of a plane, my man.
Super cool.
Out there with Rally Roots.
Oh, and he was in the podcast right before us, so you can listen to his podcast and our. So, our hats say Rnzy, us, and then our shirts say Grateful as Fuck.
One of our boys, who is a local artist here in Maine, made these shirts, and we absolutely love them. It's me, SB. You're going in. New demos. You're going in. Resell Ant. You're in the drawing for the free pair of shoes. My Web Promos. You are in. Our boy Kyle Quad 4. Make sure he is on your radar. He's doing some big things.
MadRod 402.
The Ecom Kid, you're going into tonight's drawing. And Sam Meyer 15, huge shout out to you. You're going in the drawing.
90% Nike. Are we 90% Nike inventory?
We're looking around at the walls.
We might be. I mean, we have a fair amount of Adidas.
I would say 80% would be a fair. Adidas, Puma, New Balance,
LL Bean. We have some stuff.
We've got a lot of Bean. Yeah,
but
80% Nike.
Doc Martens, stuff like that.
Good question, MadRod. Have you thought of expanding just besides shoes? We love shoes, and here's what we're gonna say about that. We expanded a little bit into apparel, and when we focused on just tops, you know, jackets, hoodies, t-shirts, all that stuff. And here's some transparency. We had amazing margins.
This is like reselling thrifted
apparel. We would hit dollar days. You know, we're talking spend $1 or $2, maximum $3 on something, sell it for $19, $20, $29, and get those $20 bills consistently, maybe even more than that. But here's and this is super important, guys. The margins were awesome. You know, I think in our first month we sold $700 or $800 worth of stuff, and it was like an 80% profit margin. We just were not into it.
We didn't like it.
We didn't like photographing the stuff. We went through the motions. We stopped liking the sourcing part of it. It just wasn't like shoes where we love it and we get up and we're like, bam, where are we going sourcing today? Bam, let's plan a trip. And because of that, we've pulled way, way back. This is the difference between making money and mental real estate. If you focus only on one, you're gonna lose the other. And we started losing the mental real estate. Great, the money was there, and we were like, awesome, the numbers are starting to make sense, but we were losing mental real estate, and it was taking up time, and we weren't enjoying it. And the bottom line is, there's only one life, and you gotta enjoy what you're doing. So we pulled way, way back, even though it was very profitable, and we're focusing on doubling and tripling down on the shoe game.
And the big thing with that too is we are able to stay so laser focused and so efficient because we're in that one kind of niche, and our whole storage and photographing and sourcing and everything is all centered around this one thing that we're just repeating. So it makes it a lot easier to grow when you're that focused on the one thing.
So there's one question that popped up that I really, Online Hustler, asked this. First of all, T. Marie B, you're going in. One of the best questions we've ever got, and the best questions are followed by the best answers. You can ask anything to us, but he asked, tell us about a time you failed in business and had to adjust. And I think in the reselling world, not a lot of people talk about the really, really tough times, or the, oh shit, we totally messed that up, or that didn't work. We want to celebrate. Obviously, you want to celebrate what's working. You want to pour gas on what's working and stop being romantic and get rid of what's not. In the beginning,
we also have a origin story video that we're going to put up on our YouTube that will further explain the beginning of our journey in this whole adventure. But this is a prime example of during the beginning of our adventure.
Very beginning.
We were making mistakes.
I'll take ownership of this one. I made a big mistake in the beginning. Let me give some premise. We started with the shoes in our closet. We moved up to thrifting from Goodwill, Salvation Army, by the pound, stuff like that. We worked consignment with friends, family, and people that had purchased from us. And we were building some momentum. So I announced to the Facebook Marketplace that we would offer free delivery within 50 miles of where we live in Portland, Maine. Now, it was just off the cuff.
Sounded good.
It sounded good. Not a lot of people were offering free delivery, and I threw 50 miles out there just as a number, not realizing how far that was. At that time, every single pair that we sold was $25. Of course, you guys know what happened next. Hindsight's 2020. People that lived 49 miles away in New Hampshire started messaging us saying, "This is so great. I want that pair of shoes. It says you deliver for free within 50 miles. I'll take that." I said, oh crap. We would drive the 49 miles, and our policy was you can try the shoes on, you can look them over. If you're not fully satisfied, you do not have to make the purchase. Of course, you guys know what happened. We started doing these deliveries in East Bum, in the middle of nowhere. If they didn't like the shoes, we would waste gas money, all this stuff. But, so there's a huge mistake. The next part of the question is, how did you adjust? Rather than reneging on the, we're going to deliver with 50 miles, we said, how can we make this worth it? So what did we do?
We started being way more strategic with those deliveries, and we would group deliveries together. So if we knew we had to go to New Hampshire, if anyone else in New Hampshire needed shoes, we would plan it on the same day, same time. We also had built up enough of an inventory where we could bring multiple options. We could bring half a size bigger, half a size smaller, other options in their size. So we knew, with 90% certainty that we would have a pair of shoes in the back of our car that the person would be able to like and fit in and be 100% happy with.
And our adjustment blew our sales out of the water, and we'll tell you exactly what just happened. So the guy who lives 49 miles away says, I love those size 10.5 Nikes. Boom, I want to try them on, bring them to me. We say, do you like any other brands, or are you just into Nikes? Actually, I like Adidas, I like New Balance, and if you have any boots, I'm interested. We would fill the back of the car with 10.5s, 11s, and 10s in the same, everything was $25. We said, if you buy 3 pairs of shoes, you get a 4th pair free. So now they're getting 4 pairs of shoes for $75. Instead of delivering 1 pair of shoes, we started delivering 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs of shoes, no matter where it was. Then it made sense. Then our sales started booming, and then we started maxing out our deliveries. That's just one instance, and like Lindsay said, we're putting out a Origins video. We've already recorded it. We just got to upload it onto YouTube, describing in depth a couple more instances where we've hit, where we've had to adjust in business. But Online Hustler, that was a phenomenal question. And we want to continue to share both what's working and what's not so that you guys can leapfrog some of the mistakes. If you only have a few pairs of shoes, do not deliver 50 miles away.
Sometimes it was a long 50 miles.
What up from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? No worries,
Oh,
Mr. Woolsey. Thank you for hopping
this
on.
has been asked multiple times. What is your pricing strategy? We look at market value. We look at the completed sales for the item that we're trying to sell on the platform that we want to sell it. So if we have a pair of Nike Air Max Tavis, we look on Poshmark, Mercari, OfferUp, our previous sales, because we might have sold them before, and we compare what the cost of the product is to what they're selling for, and we see if there is room to make money.
Guys, it seems super simple, but that's what you have to do, and that's what you have to repeat over and over and over and over again. I think it's super important. There's no secret thing.
Yeah.
Like, take all the guesswork out of it. You're in the outlet, you're in Marshall's, you're in Burlington, you're in the thrift store, whatever it is. Look up that shoe. If you don't know how to look up that shoe, we posted a video on our YouTube on how to look up the shoe. On the marketplace that you're selling, hey, I've got a pair of Nike Air Max Tavis. We actually have a pair right there. What are they selling for? Okay, I can get this for $22. They're selling for $69.79. There's room there. Hey, I can get this for $22 and they're only selling for $30. Not a good buy.
Yeah.
No matter how much you really want that shoe, it's not a good buy. Put it back. Sometimes, like today, we went into the Burlington. We're like, let's fill the cart. We're psyched. Boom. We fill the cart. We start checking comps. We leave with one pair of shoes. There was only one pair out of a whole cart full that we thought would be good. So we came home with one pair.
Yeah, a lot of people ask if we look up every single pair of shoes in the store. No, we do not. We have a game plan. We know the price point that we want to spend and what we don't want to spend on a pair of shoes. But you guys should all have your own game plans. If you want to only get pairs that are under $20, only research pairs that are sitting there that are under $20. If it's there for $50 and that's not part of your game plan, don't waste your time looking it up. So we go through obvious ones where we're like, oh, $25, $25, $18. We grab them, and then we look them up. So we skip by ones that just aren't in our game plan.
And here's why that's super important. If you have a buying budget that's $100 and all of a sudden you come across the pair and it's $50 and it's selling for $85, and you're like, hey, after fees and stuff, I might be able to make a $20 bill, which is great for that one pair of shoes, but now you've taken up half your buying budget. You could find two pairs for that $50 that will also profit you $20 each. So now that $50 for the one pair is only profiting you $20, which would be okay. But if you find two pairs, now the same $50 is profiting you $40. Now if you get even deeper, you take that $50 and go to a Goodwill, you can get 10 pairs of shoes that are $5 each that you could potentially profit $20 each. You got to really think through it. You may have to clean your profit into it. You may have to post it on a different marketplace, but you really got to respect your buying budget and make the most out of it. That's why we get nervous when people are like, I've never sold shoes. I have $2,000. I want to go to the outlet. You can do a lot with $2,000 in the outlet, but you got to know what you're doing. Right. And you rather learn in the lower price point. So if you make a mistake, whoops, I bought 10 pairs of shoes at Goodwill for $5 each. I spent my $50, but 3 of them are crap and they won't sell. There's only $15 that you've lost. Someone asked earlier, when a pair of shoes does not have the box, how much do we discount it? Honestly, we don't discount it a lot. We make it very clear in the description that these shoes are brand new. They do not come with their original box, but when we ship them, we'll carefully wrap them and ship them in a box. We do have some extra Nike boxes, so if someone says, hey, this is a gift, or hey, I'm a collector, I stack boxes, do you have any extra? We'll send it with an extra, but we'll make sure they know it's not the original box.
Yeah, unless it's some sort of hype shoe that we don't really do too much with anymore. We don't worry. I can't think of any ones where we've had the box and we haven't had the box and we've sold them at different prices. We've, across the board, sold them at the same price. And then sometimes even if we find 5 pairs of the same style, same color, 2 of them have boxes and 3 of them don't, we'll say they all don't have boxes.
Yeah.
And we haven't come across any sort of issue with people being upset because we clearly describe that they don't have boxes, but they're brand new.
With that said, the value of a pair of shoes does go up when you have the original box. When you're talking about the higher end shoes, when you're talking about $100 price point and up, when you're obviously when you're talking about Jordans, it also helps authenticate the shoes. Sometimes it's not the end all be all. Just because you have the box doesn't mean they're authentic. There's a lot of other stuff, but we don't want you guys to get confused. There is more value if you have the original box, so keep them if you have the original box. It's Nimbus EJ8. You're going in My Custom Footwear. You're in the drawing.
Someone asked if we only buy new shoes or if we buy used. We actually bought a used pair of shoes today.
Yeah.
We are still, if it's there and it is a smart buy, we don't go into too many thrift stores and things like that anymore unless it's convenient and it's where we already are, like it was today, and we just pop in.
Yeah, we
we're
were
not opposed to it.
we were cleaning, we were scrubbing shoes before the live feed. We found some dope pair of Brooks Ghost running shoes. That's a good brand to look out for. They were only $6, so we'll be able to make a good profit on those. Even used shoes, you just gotta make sure there's no rips or tears. The insole and the bottom sole are good. There's check the heel. Like, you gotta make sure the condition is good. Sam Meyer said, if you sell the same shoe on multiple, I'm going like this so I can read it, on multiple platforms, and it sells on eBay, what will you do with a listing on Poshmark? Great question, Sam, and this goes into a deeper conversation about building a system in your game plan that allows you to handle multiple marketplaces. Some of you may be ready for that. Some of you absolutely will not be ready for that. We weren't ready for that in the beginning, which is why we did everything on Facebook Marketplace. Then we built in a system. We have the advantage of there being 2 of us. So this is what happens. We post on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 marketplaces. Almost all of our inventory goes on all of those. Not all of it, but 95% of it goes on everything. There's different prices in different marketplaces depending on those fees and the market value on that platform. When a pair sells, we instantly split up the duties. Actually, Lindsay does it most of the time. But what we do is we take down the listing on all the other platforms right away. We do everything from our phone. We don't mess around on the computer, but we always take everything down immediately.
Ooh, that's a good question over on YouTube.
What was it? It went away.
When we bought shoes at Goodwill, because we bought thousands of pairs of shoes at Goodwill at the beginning of this, would we buy shoes without insoles and sell them that way? We steered clear of things like that.
Yeah.
Again, mental real estate. People replace laces, people replace insoles, things like that. We wanted to keep it as streamlined as possible. So unless it was some like really awesome pair of Patagonia boots or something, and then we would replace the insoles, we really didn't.
You just got to be super thorough in your description and think, like Lindsay said, you got to think through the sale. What are the chances that someone's going to be bummed that when they finally get them that there's no insole? You don't want people to buy stuff from you and then have to buy more stuff after, a new pair of laces, a new insole, whatever. You don't want people to get the shoe and have to clean it. Just stay away from that stuff. NA Deal said, do you guys have any complaints when you use various sizes on Poshmark that the photo isn't the pair necessarily that they receive? Great question. Here's how we remedy that. Guys, it always comes down to sourcing. When we're sourcing, if there's multiple pairs of the same shoe, we will thoroughly check each size and make sure that there's not a blemish on the size 8 and the size 9 are perfect. That way, when we're taking photos, we're super confident that every pair that we have in all the sizes looks exactly like the photos. Now, you're right, it's not the same exact pair, but there's no blemishes on the other ones. If there was a blemish, we would say, hey, there is, a mark, or we would choose, even at that point, to save the mental real estate and not source it. Yeah. So all of the pairs, now what we do on Poshmark is we'll put a photo that's got all the inside tags. So if we have a 7, 8, and 9, we'll put all those in one photo so you can see the 7, 8, and 9 and the various sizes. We've never had any complaints about that. Those of you that are using stock photos because it shows the picture, cut it out. Stop using stock photos. We were talking to someone earlier about that, and they're getting kicked off. Everyone's getting kicked off or suspended for using stock photos. Take your own photos. Take the extra time to do it.
Yeah, or people are getting flagged as having like fake inventory or whatever. Don't even mess around. Someone asked how often do we take time off for vacation or to treat ourselves so we don't get burnt out?
Guys.
I mean, it's almost like all the time and none of the time.
First of all, our boy Liam is in the house.
Liam!
Huge shout out to Liam.
Amazing.
Yo, get your face here to the sneaker vault. We're gonna go live with Liam as soon as he gets to where we are, man. We miss you, brother.
Vacation time.
Vacation time. Guys, we love what we do.
Yeah.
So that's why I shook my head. We don't want to take a vacation. We just went to the Outer Banks with some fam. So that was like the closest to vacation. We didn't put our stuff on vacation mode. when stuff sells and we're away, whether it's sourcing, we let buyers know right away, hey, we'll ship these as soon as we get home. We love what we do, period. Now, if we were selling all apparel tops like we were talking about earlier, and you said, what do you do for vacation? We'd probably say, hey, we turn that
one planned.
We turn that ish off because we don't enjoy it. And here's the transparency: we love doing the shoe game. That's why we've created this whole sneaker vault. And you got to find what works best for you. If you're only chasing money, it's not going to work. If you're only chasing I'm going to skip down the sidewalk crapping rainbows and not worry about money, that won't work as well. You got to have the practicality and pull from both ends to build that bridge that meets in the middle of we love what we're doing and we're making money doing it. No excuses.
How long do you guys plan on doing this? There's no end to this. There's just transitioning to other aspects of it or other adventures, other side projects with it.
We got real estate plans. We're going to turn our shoe profits into a real estate portfolio specific to rental arbitrage, but we're not there yet. NA deals, you're going in the drawing. XX, GKXX, you're in. Newish vibes, you're in the drawing for a free pair. Our boy Andre's store, you are in. Mr. Woolsey, of course you are in. One of the only people on this planet, the only person on this planet besides us two that has the most amazing sourcing socks. Nick, NICUCOLL, you are in.
Steph Hoffman. Yeah, someone on YouTube asked if this was Rnzy gear. Yes, this is Rnzy gear.
Liam, do you have one of these? I can't remember if you got one. Let us know in the comments on Instagram. There's only a few people on this planet. I know Holly has one.
There's 4 people that have hats and 3 people who have socks.
Andre said, do you guys plan on hiring someone anytime soon? The answer is yes, my friend. We are looking at bringing on a photographer and a lister. We are also in the medium future, looking at partners to source with. But here's the golden scenario. We don't need it right now. We have a lot of extra time. We can do all these things. Yes, we have to do it in order to grow. You have to bring someone in. But right now we could double and triple what we're doing and still do it with the two of us. That's not bragging. That's just saying, hey, what does our day look like? What does our space look like?
For sure.
We have an opportunity to grow, but we will be bringing on a photographer, a lister. That hopefully that's the same. That the person can do the same thing. We've been testing it. Thanks for describing how you list on platforms. How do you keep up with inventory? Is there a spreadsheet?
Yeah, it's just simple. We actually use Google Sheets. It's super easy. We have an inventory, like a master inventory sheet that we put all the info on that we need to know about it and to grab it off the shelf with it only taking a second. So things like brand, style, color, size, what it cost us. Then when the item sells, it moves to a different Google sheet that has the selling, or I guess what we take home, what the
Profit,
price, what the price that it sold for was.
Oh yeah.
And then our profit, and so then we total it all up, and we have whatever, and then we also keep track of how many items we sell every single day, and we have for the last 15 plus months. We know exactly on May 16th of this year how many pairs we sold, and we try to beat every month.
Liam, have a good night, brother. We'll talk to you soon. You know what's super cool? Shout out to B-Trade. Thanks for hopping on the live feed. Love watching your Insta stories as well. We do this really cool thing, guys, where we compete against ourselves. We don't compare ourselves to other resellers. We obviously look up to other resellers. We learn from everything, but we're always competing against how we did yesterday. Like Lindsay just said, since day one, we have a spreadsheet, and it says, literally day one, how many did we sell? Day 2, how many did we sell? Day 3, and then the next month, which is a couple lines down, boom, we know how much we sold this day, the first of last month, so we try to beat that. And for 15 months, we've been playing what we call resellers golf. Now, it's a little bit squirrely.
Oh my God.
Squirrely compared.
No one knows about this.
No one knows about this. We'll probably do another separate video about it. But basically, a birdie is if we sell more shoes than the day in the previous month. So on the first of every month, if we sell more, it becomes a birdie. If we sell less, it's a bogey. If we sell the same, it's a par. And so we love golf.
Trying to get those birdies.
We're trying to get those birdies, and we make them green on the sheet. And so we know, we can, by looking from afar on the sheet, maybe we'll take a screenshot, we can say how well our month went. Is it a lot of greens? Is it a lot of gray, which is a par, and then bogey, which is like orange crappy color. We don't like any orange.
Yeah, it's a bummer when it's orange.
But it's just a cool way to compete against how we did yesterday, how we did last week, last month, last year, and we're always trying to improve.
It's fun.
Do you ever stress if you don't sell much? I always do. No.
You can't.
Because here's why we don't stress. If something's not selling, it's on us. And then we look at why is it not selling? Did we source it too high? Did we not take great photos? Were we not thorough with our description? Did we not share our Poshmark closet today? You know, can we adjust the pricing? There's always something you can do to improve. If you just sit, whatever you focus on grows. If you just sit and be like, oh, nothing's selling, guess what? Nothing's gonna sell.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, I'm having trouble with sales, what can I do? We'll say, do you have great photos? Is it priced with respect to the market value? Do you have thorough descriptions? And usually, if you're honest, the answer can be found in those things. If we're honest with ourselves, we can say, hey, you know what? Let's retake photos of this. Hey, you know what? We weren't thorough with the description. Hey, these are priced too high. The market dropped on these. We gotta, fix the pricing. Great questions though. What up, Irvis4? Are there good selections at Goodwill or thrift stores? I was under the impression they're only sold used sneakers. They do.
Yeah, it's all used.
It's all used at Goodwill.
It's all donated, so majority of it is used.
That's how we, I think you just jumped on. That's how we started with the first 800 pairs we sold were used. Just gotta fix this. But then you just gotta clean them, clean your profit into them. How many comps does a pair of shoes need to have in the sold listings for you guys to be sure to get them? Really, really good question. There's a couple different thoughts on this. Obviously, if there's only one sold, it's not as good. If there's a bunch sold, it's a lot better. But you really have to evaluate that for yourself. Here's the bottom line. If one pair has sold, it's possible to sell them.
Yeah.
It's not as good as if there was a ton of sales of them. But there's no excuses then. If someone has done it on the platform, now you don't want to buy all of your inventory that only has one sale or no sale. Definitely don't want if there's no sales.
And compare it to how many are for sale. So if no sales and there's 100 up for sale, that might be telling you something. This might not be a good option. Not many people are buying it. If it's the opposite, if there's tons of sales, none for sale, might be a really good option. So It varies with every single pair, obviously. Someone asked a good question, and this is something that we haven't done yet, but we're going to do it this Friday when we source. They asked if, what is it?
I don't know.
Do we buy discounted gift cards? And we had been told about this months ago, and we, for some reason,
we didn't
had other stuff going on. No excuse. We didn't do it, but we are going to do it this sourcing trip. We'll be buying Nike gift cards, which you can get, 9% off. Whatever. So you buy a $100 gift card for $90. There's no excuse for us not to do this. We could, be saving so many hundreds of dollars.
It's literally going to allow.
We will be doing it.
And we just, you know what it was? We didn't put the research. We didn't put the time in to understand it. Lindsay's put a lot of research into it. We're definitely going to do this on our next sourcing trip. Then once we work through where we got the gift cards, how the efficiency, then we'll show, tell you guys how our experience was. Hey, the best gift cards were here. I know you were finding some that were 8%, some were 9%. So once we put in the time, then we'll reflect and let you guys know how that went. But thank you guys, whoever asked that question.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that.
I'm hopping on the Poshmark game. Are all fees included? So Steph Hoffman, go to frequently asked questions. I screenshotted this earlier and sent it to someone. And I think on the third page of frequently asked questions, it breaks down the fees. Anything below $15, Poshmark takes I think it's $2.75 from the listing, no matter how much it is below 15. But anything over that, they take 20% But go
I
to
didn't know that.
go to frequently asked questions, and on I think the 3rd page it'll break down all the fees for you.
That's cool.
Oh, some people are talking about, I think, some Alpha Bounce. Shout out to everyone on YouTube that have been following along. Thank you for hitting that like button. This is our first Rnzy Live Market on YouTube. Those of you, this is important, that are over here on Instagram, whether you're watching this now or whether you're watching this tomorrow, this will be posted over on YouTube forever on our page. We're going to start doing simultaneous live feeds. This on Instagram will go away after 24 hours, but it will be on YouTube over here. We're giving away a free pair of shoes.
Yeah, you guys have like 5 more minutes to get into the giveaway.
Less than 5 minutes. In order to get into the drawing tonight for a free pair of shoes from our website, $75 and under, you have to go, we pinned the comment, go to e-commerce Momentum. We were lucky enough to be on his podcast. We were number 339. Go to his Instagram, and on our post, it's like the 3rd one over. Make sure you like that. Make sure you're following him, and make sure you put some positivity in the comments.
And listen to the podcast after we get off.
Yeah. Listen to the podcast. We talk a lot about mental real estate and answer some things that you guys have been asking.
Or Vox Sneaks.
You're going in. You're in the drawing. Great question. eBay is the way. We've already recorded our backstory. We just got to load it up onto YouTube. I wasn't sure because it's a longer video. It's like 20 minutes, and I was having trouble loading it. We're newer to YouTube, so we just got to change some settings and load that up, but it is coming. It will be on our YouTube. Boom, boom, boom. Backstory. Boom.
What else do we want to answer?
Oh, how much do we pay ourselves? Oh, we don't want to answer that. But we pay ourselves weekly. We figure out what are our bills every single month. What is our debt? You know, before we started this reselling thing, we both had some debt. So we've put that into our bill pay, and we're chopping away at that. And then we know exactly what it takes for us to put food in our belly, a roof over our head, shirts on our back, gas in the car, all those bills.
That's the biggest thing, is we pay ourselves exactly what we need to be living comfortably, to put a little bit aside to cover some debt, and every single other dollar goes back into this.
Yeah.
And we know that number. We have sat down and we calculate exactly what we spend, and we subtract that from exactly what we make every profit every week, and then it goes back in.
Pour everything in. Pablo, great question. Are we an LLC or not? We are not yet. We're going to be establishing that as we grow, and especially as we get into like the real estate game. We're very transparent people. We're not going to keep anything. We're not an LLC yet. We did our taxes individually from the stuff that rolled over from last year. I want to see a video in the life of Rnzy. We definitely want to do that. The best way to follow in the life of Rnzy is to follow our Insta stories. We're trying to put up as much content as we can. Thoughts on using credit card with perks? New demos, that's a great question. And we'll answer it. Kathy Oxford, you're going in the drawing. We don't have a lot of experience when it comes to credit cards. I know there is some resellers out there. You have to be super careful, and this is about money management. We are very cash in hand. Hey, this is how much money. We're going on the sourcing trip. In the beginning, we had $20 for this week. How can we make the most out of this $20? Then as we grew, we had $100. Now we're spending, $2,000 a week. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's less, depending on, what is going on in our world. But we know exactly how much money we have in hand, and I think that's the best strategy to build. Once you grow, you can start getting into the credit card thing, and but we would stray away from that as a new reseller or someone who's just getting in the game, because it's super easy if you've got a credit limit of $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 to go into a store and be like, let's do this. But we've seen it get so many people in trouble. If you're really, really, really good at managing your money, that's up to you, but we would stay away. Yeah, credit is bad, if you learned young.
I mean, it depends.
You can do...
I am really good with money and super frugal and anal about it. So it works for us to use a credit card because we get the perks of the cash back and whatever else. but we don't spend any more than what we have to pay it off. And we pay it off instantly. Every single week we're paying it off.
Yep.
So you guys do whatever works for you. We're not saying either way, but it works for
Yo, our
us.
boy Pablo is opening up the floodgates on Poshmark.
Oh,
Pablo is
shoot.
crushing the eBay game and has just started to expand into Poshmark, man. I hope the floodgates open for you, brother. You deserve it. You put in so much hard work. You're pouring into the reselling community, and it looks like some sales just came through on this feed. So we're going to keep sending the reselling vibes to you, man. We hope the Poshmark. Paulo, send us a DM with your Posh closet, and we will share it. You know, I think we're approaching 20,000 followers right now on Posh, so we'll share your closet and get it out there. Just because you pour so much back into the community. Do you guys buy new, used, or both? The answer is both. Started with used, now it's mostly new. Do you guys ever split up and source separately so you can hit more stores? That's a great question, B-Trade. We're going to answer that. Shell Larray, you're in. Duke Chapanita, you're in. Pedro Maya 14, you're in. How much minute? What do we got?
We have
we got 2 minutes.
Minute, yeah.
B She, LL Cool Jeff, you're in. JDLD Squared, you're in. Her Trendy Closet, you're in.
Pablo wants us to make a Posh guide.
We can do that.
We can do that.
I want to answer B-Trade. There is strategy, and yes, we could separate into 2 different stores, but here's what we do instead. We mall the one store.
Yeah, we separate instantly in the one. We'll walk into a Nike outlet or whatever. I always go straight to kids, and he goes to men's, and then I do women's, and we usually meet right in the middle, and then double check each other.
Yeah,
You know,
and double check.
Like, it's just, it works for us. Sometimes I'll sit there and check out, and if there's like a Marshall's next to the Burlington or whatever, he'll start over in the Marshall's while I check out.
We work good together that way.
One vehicle, so we're going
yeah.
kind of from spot to spot together.
It's a great question. Someone said, Posh Guide, please, I need help. Absolutely, we'll be putting out a lot more content. It's our #1 marketplace. How do you build up so many followers? You communicate effectively, you put consistent inventory up every week, and then in your description, on the bottom, right, make sure to follow us. We are gonna be posting a lot of inventory. We got less than 90 seconds, so we're gonna do the drawing. You've got 60 seconds to get your name in the drawing, and then we're gonna pick it right now. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Instagram.
Block Family Adventures.
Now here's how it's gonna work. All of you that have gone over to e-commerce momentum, we're looking on the iPad over here, and you've left some positivity, make sure you're following e-commerce momentum on Instagram and you're interacting with our post. We wanted to put that out there. It's a great resource. It's a great podcast. He's doing some crazy stuff with Amazon to show our gratitude because we're grateful as fuck. We want to give away a pair of shoes right now. Now, a lot of the stuff that we source at $100, $125, $200 retail pairs, we price on our website for $75 and under. You will get to choose a pair of shoes, the winner tonight. You have 48 hours, and then it's over, to go to our website. We'll send you, the winner, a DM in the next couple minutes, whoever wins. We got to pick it right now. And you have 48 hours to pick a pair of shoes, $75 and under.
All right, we're picking.
And we'll ship it out. You just got to pay shipping.
Oh, wait, there's one more.
Come on, we got to go. One more. Who's the last person getting in?
Bree Rose.
Bree Rose, you're in.
All right.
All right. All your names are in there. We're going to shake it up. We'll keep it on the screen. YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube, and let's pick a winner. We got 20 seconds. We got to go. Pick one. Keep it in. Who is it?
Lionel Ferrero.
Lionel Ferrero. That might be Reed's family. Guys, thank you so much for your time and attention. Lionel, we'll send you a message over here on Instagram. Guys, we will see you. Send us any questions you have. We'll see you next Tuesday. Boom. Thank you, YouTube. We really appreciate it. We're still live over here.
I'm so used to it automatically going, let's just have a little personal one with YouTube.
Here's a little extra content over here on YouTube. It means the world to us. This is our first attempt at streaming live over here on YouTube. We're going to continue to get better. We're going to start putting out a lot more content. We've been doing a ton of stuff over there on Instagram, but we really, really appreciate all of you that have
Yeah.
been part of our very first Rnzy Live market over here on YouTube. As always, if you guys have any questions, we're very open people. There's nothing we're going to hide. We're not going to tell you to go left when we go right. We're not going to keep information out. I think we both think there's enough inventory on this planet. There's enough shoes for all of us to win. So we're going to continue to show what's working for us, what's not working for us, so you can leapfrog our mistakes and get closer to consistent wins.
Wow.
That's what we got for you guys. Have an amazing evening. I don't even know how to turn this live feed off.
Let's just stay on all night. Hit the little X.
Hit the little
See
X.
you next Tuesday.
Have a good night, guys.
Hit the X. Hit the X.
Hit the X.